Right, so this is where you sign up. Start off with your name and your official email address. Please don't use your personal email addresses as it will be restricted. So add your password. I will add my password and the organization code that has been shared with you. You can also choose to sign up with your Google account as well, but I'll go ahead with the organization code that I have. So that's 71528518. Sign. Now, once you are on your home page, first thing you need to do is complete your profile. So click on the complete setup option and you can either choose to fill out every detail on your own, or what you can do is you can directly upload your resume that you have with you. And so what I'll do is I'll select my resume that I have. Maybe I'll have to get the PDF one. So I will upload my resume over here, and it takes some time to process stuff. We auto process your resumes and we fill out the data for you. You can choose to edit the data on your own as well. So please give us a minute while we process the data. So this is how my profile gets filled out. I can change data over here if I want to. For example, if I don't want to add this, I'll remove it. I can get a detailed feedback on every topic or description I write about marketing systems. So we take into account your complete profile before we suggest you what you could have done differently. So this is what the suggestions we have come up with. This is what you can do in order to make this better. Overall, you can also go ahead and get a detailed profile feedback on how your profile looks like. So, we point out all the different suggestions that you can go through, everything that can be changed. So what areas of improvement, how you should write your profile so that it's actually engaging for people who are reading or who are going through a resume. Anytime you make a change to your profile, make sure that you keep regenerating feedbacks from time to time. You can also share your profile with your friends and others for them to go through as well. Next step comes on where you have to set your own introduction video. Now, once you set your own introduction video, this actually takes into account the main question that most interviewers ask. That is, tell us a bit about your profile. Now, most of the time, I do know that most of the kids don't know how to describe that. So just click on the confuse what to say option and we take a few minutes to generate a detailed script, a 2-minute script on how you should describe your profile. Now, if someone comes and tells me their profile in this way, I'm definitely impressed. So please go ahead, try it out, record stuff. Once you record a profile, once you record a feedback video, we again give you feedback on how differently you could have done things in order to make it better. Now, we'll move on to how you can start with a test. So in order to start with a test, what you can do is you can click on start a test option. You can select a certain difficulty level based on, whatever job role you're applying for, whatever test you want to apply for. And I want to try out, say, cybersecurity. And I click on start interview. So we run a few device checks just to see whether your camera is working or not, or, your microphone and headphones are working properly or not, and whether you're in a proper network system or not. And once you do that, you can start off with the interview. Make sure that you attempt the interview properly and make sure that you do not switch tabs because all of this data gets tracked over time. So make sure you take it seriously and do stuff properly. All right. So once you click on the start interview option, it gives you the question. And once you have the question, you can start working on the question. You can start answering it. Now we have features like a drawing board. So suppose you are explaining something and you want to draw stuff. So you can actually draw anything you want to explain while you are answering the question. So this is mostly applicable for people who are applying for design systems or design-based interviews. You also have a write code option where you can actually select a language of your choice and you can actually write down code while you explain. And all of this takes a very important role when you're explaining anything during an interview. Click on the end button to send the data for processing, and we will take care of processing all the data that you have. We run certain models on our end to, get you back with the feedback. We show the number of attempts you have a score, how you have been improving over time, and how every skill has been important to you. Now, what you can do is you can go back to past interviews. You can see all the interviews that you have attended over time. And this is how we show you your profile or the score for every interview. This is the overall high level score of how your interview went, how you were looking throughout the interview, what your content delivery looked like, how your language proficiency was, that is how confident you were and how you were delivering with your grammar and other stuff, and whether you were knowledgeable or not. Now, post that, we give you suggestions on how you could have done better. What could have been different in how you were answering your question. The biggest point over here is that every suggestion is customized to your profile. For example, the profile that I'm working with right now, he has worked heavily in movie library management system and he has worked with games on projects. So his suggestion was, take that profile into account and you should talk in that way, that you can handle database constraints and triggers and talk about all those stuff. It gives you quite a heavy weightage because you know what you have worked on. That is what it takes into account. Then we also have a feedback mechanism. That is what could have been different. Over here as well, we take into account of your profile. So your feedback is going to be very different from your friend's feedback. So it helps you be better over time. And this is where we actually go ahead and get a transcript. We analyze how your background was, what could have been different while you were appearing for the interview. We have a canvas analysis where we're actually trying to match whether anything that you have drawn or any code you have written actually relates to the interview that you have given during the process. And you can share this interview with your friends, your mentors, with your professors to get a human feedback from them as well. And as I mentioned, we do take into account whether your task focus was maintained or not. Now, there might be a chance that you want to add some additional data to it. You want to learn more about it. You want to go ahead and try things out on your own. So you can directly add this to the notes, and a detailed instruction, a detailed question review, all of it gets added over here. You want to add a few more data, maybe, I want to add about how do I explain data integrity in simple words? How do I explain data integrity in one word? This will take into account the past answers that you have given, the profile that you have worked with, and it adds a certain answer on what you can focus on. So this is what you can focus on while you are answering your question. Save it for later, visit it, study again, go ahead and try it once more. So you can retry it as many times as you want. So this is what it has been all about. Now, what's important is sometimes you don't know whether we're actually suitable for a role or not. So when you start a test, you can directly upload your JD over here. And so what I'll do is I will upload my JD that I need to work with. And once I've uploaded my JD, the language models that we have actually gives you certain steps or certain options on what you can start with. So these are your most suitable topics that you should practice before you go for the test. You can also save the guidance that the model has provided so that you are better prepared on how you can present, and then you can go ahead and start a test directly. All right. And to see whether you're actually suitable for the role or not, what you can do is you can go to your profile, you can check your role suitability, and when you press on analyze student profile, we actually run certain checks on the backend to make sure that whether your profile actually fits the requirement of what the company wants or not. And if there are certain things that you need to work on, it actually suggests you what things should be your priority, what you should work on, and how you can improvise on your skills. So this is how my profile compares against the job description that I had. Purposefully, I had added a job description for a bank sales role. And the profile that I had over here was a very highly technical score. So it's saying that you are currently not recommended for the kind of score you have, the kind of profile the company wants, and you are not a match for them. And that is because of these particular reasons. Client acquisition, we analyze certain strengths that the job description requires. And on the basis of that, how well does your profile suit against it? We run a detailed skill analysis. And the reason why your skills doesn't match has been all pointed out over here. This is because you have worked on certain projects that are not suitable for what they require. And thus we have a skill gap analysis. What are the critical gaps? What are the things that you need to work on? What you need to learn when you go ahead? And if you have any relevant experience or not. We do tell it's a sort of a SWOT analysis because we say what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and what you need to start working on. So this is what the WorqHat Smartmocks AI interview platform is all about. And we can't wait to see you perform better in your placement. So, go ahead, try hard, try it out, and I'll see you guys at the next interview. Cheers.